Welcome to the Operation Game Night podcast. They do move in herds. Ooh. I'm your host, Dr. Alan Grant, aka Travis Smith. Happy Halloween, everybody, and welcome to the Operation Game Night podcast. I'm joined by a herd of dinosaurs in the board game and video game sphere of influence.
World tier.
Joining me as always is Clayton Gable, my co-host, and special guest from the Games Y Más podcast, Vic. How you doing, Vic?
Oh, great, Scott! I am here on time. Yes, as you can tell from my Marty McFly costume here. Oh, guys, it is such an honor to be back on this podcast. I love you guys. Operation Game Night is my jam. You guys are amazing. I love your debriefs. I love everything. It just I'm ready to just get down to business and start talking. Well, we got talking here on Operation Game Night. So
great.
Happy to be back.
I would like more flattery, please, Vic.
There you go. Of course.
normally you're good for like 5 minutes of flattery, and that was only 30 seconds. But we love you too, Vic. It was like one of the saddest things ever when I thought we were going to meet in person at the World Series of Board Gaming.
Oh my goodness, bro!
Then you had work or something.
No, so I don't like, hopefully my wife doesn't listen to this episode here. But I don't want to put blame on anyone, but my wife might be the reason why I wasn't able to meet up, because we had a car situation. We ended up having to trade in our car. All my savings and everything I was getting ready for Vegas, I had to go to this new car. Yeah. It literally happened the week before the World Series of Gaming, and I was just like, I was sitting there. This is what I was literally doing in my living room. I was going like this. I'm not going to the World Series of Gaming. I'm like, what can I do? What kind of do I need to like sell some illegal things? Do I need to start an OnlyFans? Do I need to do something just to get myself over there? Because I did not have any more money, and I was just like, so like when I told Travis, I was literally like, just like, I hate myself. I hate. Okay. This is horrible. But here's the silver lining about that is that there'll always be more games, and we don't have to rely on World Series of Gaming, guys. We can just shoot me a date, and we'll a place, and we'll go. We'll meet up and have a board game getaway. We got to do it.
Vic, I know how you could have raised the money to go to the World Series of Board Gaming. You could have pitched the Netflix producers the next great idea for Catan the movie.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
And I'll say before we get into our main topic, it's okay to say whatever you would like on this podcast, because this is a safe space, and not even our wives listen to this podcast.
My goodness! Wow.
You're okay to talk about your wife on the podcast. This is a wife-free podcast at this point.
There you go. Yes. Way to be supportive, wives of your husband's podcast and journeys and hobbies. Yes.
Yeah.
Our wives are the year. Yep. They'll never know.
Thank you, Clay, for the introduction. We do have to get to some business because we have some important pitches coming up. Netflix just bought the rights to Settlers of Catan.
Whew.
So,
yeah. Oh, man.
Live from Settlers of Catan, or live from the Tadum blog. It's the worst. It's the worst name for a blog.
That is.
Netflix bought the rights to Settlers of Catan, the board game. They've done a couple board game things in the past. We'll talk about that. But if we here on this podcast are designing the next great scripted or unscripted TV, animation, or movie for Netflix, we are going to walk into the boardroom and pitch this to Nathan Netflix. That's not really his name, but Mr. Netflix.
I'm like, you said that with confidence. I was like, is that his name, really?
No,
like
no.
Nathan.
He's got a monocle and a top hat and a Stranger Things t-shirt on, and we are going to pitch him our ideas for what we think Catan should be on the next great Netflix show. So
yes.
I tasked you guys to come up with your ideas for what this looks like, what you would have Netflix do with this license. RIP to Klaus Tuber, the creator of Settlers of Catan. But his sons are involved. They are part of the Catan estate. They've been working with Asmodee, and they are now in cahoots with Netflix. So, Clay, I want to hear yours first. Let's go to yours. What do you think Netflix should do with the Catan license next?
Listen, I'm tapping into some pretty serious IPs here. I am thinking I'm going Toy Story, Wreck-It Ralph type vibe, where the board games, the old classics, this is pre-Catan, all right? So we've got maybe chess, Monopoly, Risk, Scrabble. They're all sitting dusty on a shelf. As kids, as the main family is playing more and more video games. And, there's some plot there where they're about to sell all the board games on this shelf in a yard sale, and they come to life, and they have to come up with a plan to bring people back to the table. Okay. And so you've got, chess is a main character, Monopoly is a main character, and they come up with this great idea that the only way that they can bring people back to the table is to combine their various components and parts into this new board game that's going to bring people back to the table, and it is Catan, the board game. Pretty good. Pretty good, huh?
We're going meta on this one. Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Board games playing themselves.
Yeah.
Yes. Board games designing themselves.
Wow.
Do you see this as an animated,
very animated
Pixar style?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so once they all combine their parts and pieces, who would you have do the animated voice or the voiceover for Catan the game?
Ooh, that's
can't go wrong with Ryan Reynolds.
Oh, right. Okay.
Okay.
I love a Ryan Reynolds voice. So if there's going to be a hero protagonist in this movie, it's going to be Ryan Reynolds.
Okay. Maybe like Anya Taylor-Joy for chess, since she was already working with Netflix.
Yeah, that could be a good one.
That is a great one.
Get some like old grouchy guy to be like the Risk general type guy. Yeah.
Christopher Walken. How about Christopher Walken for
Risk?
For Risk.
Yes, I like that.
I have a feeling that I don't know if we should be rolling the 7 of the robber. Yeah.
That's great.
And you could even build out the antagonists of the story as like the video game consoles, whatever, the 90s consoles were. Maybe there's, a power struggle within the house that, Catan has to like physically fight the Nintendo GameCube, and, they're throwing dice components at it, launching them, and it's this whole thing. And then, at the end, the family sits down and opens the box of Catan, and it's like the rest is history. This is modern board gaming. Thank you, Klaus. Awesome.
I love it.
Interesting.
I love it. Okay. Only if Chris Pratt can revise his role as Mario in playing the video game. And then you have Ben Schwartz that does Sonic for the Sega.
Yep.
I like it.
I'm sold.
All right.
I'm buying.
Vic, hit me with your idea. Let's hear what you came up with.
All right. So I like that. I like that meta version that you did there. So I'm walking into this boardroom and I'm like, Mr. Nathan, love the monocle. It's really nice. It's cool. I got something for you here. I know you. It comes to my attention. You bought, Settlers of Catan, and so I want to pitch something in here. Are you a fan, Nathan? Are you a fan of Game of Thrones? Would you be a happy fan of Game of Thrones? I got a Game of Thrones-esque kind of show for you here. Let's say, okay, you got these nations that come into this island. They're escaping the hardships of their country to start a new life into this land known as Catan. Nations lived in harmony. They would trade with each other. They would trade wood with each other. They would trade sheep with each other, wheat, build roads, build cities. They were expanding. That's the main storyline. They're living in harmony until someone known as the robber shows up, starts stealing things, starts planting things on other nations. Maybe their wood is gone, and all of a sudden now it's on the other nation, but they have sheep. All of a sudden more sheep, and it causes tensions between the nations, and they don't know that this robber is going around stealing from everybody and the nations are starting to war against each other, starting to fight, starting to build tensions with each other. Now they're expanding more, so they don't have to control more territories. And we could leave it out as is. They don't know that the robbers doing this behind the scenes towards the end of the show, and then you introduce the knights, and the knights come in, stuff like that. So something along the lines of that. I haven't gotten over to the series ends, but think of that premise right there. Think of Game of Thrones, fantasy-esque type of style, but more obviously with more modern, building cities, building villages, increasing. But you have that one robber that is just conniving and stealing things from other players, from other cities, you could say. And so that's my pitch right there. I think I'm a big sucker for like the Game of Thrones-esque type of show where there's plotting and scheming. And so I think that'd be a great way for Catan, where it's like you have these players, which are the nations, coming in, escaping, kind of like how the Pilgrims came to America. And so they're kind of over here expanding, building their lands, building their world. And then you have the robber that shows up and starts causing just chaos with everybody. And then it could be that they notice that every 7th day it happens.
I like
that's
that.
good.
Or the 7th month of the 7th year, that there's a chaotic tragedy that happens within.
Is it like a magic? Is there going to be a magical thing? Is the robber like a magical character?
We could make him a magical, something like more magic, where it's like no one sees him. He just pops up and disappears and moves on to a different territory. So there you go, Nathan. I start my fee as low as $500,000. We can go up that. We can talk more details. Stuff like that. There you go.
If you're charging Netflix $500,000, they're getting a bargain because
right.
Paid $1 bazillion for these rights.
But he'll also settle for tickets to the World Series of Board Gaming.
Yes. Yes. For life.
Yeah.
Okay. My idea was a 80s style buddy cop movie.
Oh.
2 people are the new sheriffs in town. Maybe they came from a different island or whatever, but they got word that there's a robber going around that is peddling in illegal stolen goods that are being traded under the table.
Mm.
And the 2 buddy cops are played by Chris Pratt and Awkwafina, which I think that's like pretty appropriate roles for them. They're accepting any role at this point. So just throw them in there. They're the 2 buddy cops.
Yeah.
Chris Pratt is, the by the books character, very much like the what's Will Ferrell's character in the other guys?
I know him as Gator. But
Gator, yeah, Gator knows all the rules. He's by the books. He's gonna like follow all the rules and regulations, right?
Yeah.
And then Awkwafina is kind of like the more hard, loose cop, willing to bend the rules. The robber is played by, oh man, I'm gonna forget what I wrote down. Pedro Pascal.
I knew you were gonna say I'm out of here. I knew you were gonna say that. Oh my goodness. I do not like Pedro Pascal. I'm sorry.
Hey,
what?
But again, willing to accept any
get
role
out of here, Vic.
Okay, look, he's great. They're just putting him in everything. I'm like, relax, come on. Like, he was a great Mandalorian, perfect Mandalorian, but he's not a good Mr. Fantastic.
So as they chase Pedro Pascal across the island of Catan, they are starting to realize that the island is not what it seems, and they're uncovering some shady dealings where the overarching government of Catan is smuggling out sheep for other nefarious goods.
Wow!
And Pedro Pascal is actually the do-gooder, the Robin Hood character that is helping to unseat this government. And the 2 buddies realize this is a big conspiracy. Supporting characters include Danny DeVito as a underground merchant, where he is also trading goods and smuggling. And Taika Waititi is a seafaring captain that's willing to trade any good for a much more reasonable rate. So,
Dang, working the port.
I think it's pretty good. I think it's good.
You got a solid cast right there. I mean, minus Pedro, but you got a solid cast right there.
Wow. Dang.
Mr. Nathan Netflix. Hit me up. Let's talk.
Yes, definitely.
I think they should do all of the above, really. I mean, Vic's got a good series, that's got some legs to it. All right. I got, a little one-off movie for the family, feel good.
Mhm.
and Travis got maybe like a little comedy, dramedy type
There you go.
movie.
The Catan anthology right there.
So here's probably realistically what they're going to do. They're going to do the whole like isekai version. And for those of you who don't know, isekai is like you get pulled out of your world and thrown into another one. They already did this with the werewolf property. They have I can't remember what it's called, but it's called like Wolf Pack or something. And a family gets, I think it's a French movie that they licensed for Netflix.
Yeah.
Where a family gets pulled back in time. They are like somehow their ancestors way back when, but they're playing werewolf. It's very strange. It was not a great movie. But they kind of did that kind of isekai, like pulled into the board game for werewolf.
Yeah.
What about the unscripted TV shows? What do you think? Like reality show? Are we just watching people play Catan? Any ideas for unscripted shows?
Definitely make like a good Survivor-esque Netflix series out of where people have to negotiate and do things like that. You could make that happen.
I like that.
Yeah, you could do that. Like when they're on the island, and you just have to like
trying to build roads. Like
you got to trade with each other. Then like they can vote one person, or like the audience can vote to see who's the robber, and then they can come in and start taking things.
Okay,
stuff like that. I think that'd be an interesting reality series.
What if they did like Naked and Afraid, where they like somebody gets dropped in a wheat field, somebody gets dropped with like a bunch of sheep, like a ore mine, and the other person is like in a clay pit or something and has to they have to make their own resources to trade with one another.
At the beginning of each episode, a die gets rolled, and the people in that area just get their stuff. You almost could.
Yeah, they'll like see it on a screen on the sky. They'll see what the number is, and they'll be like, whoever's on that, they're like, oh, snap, they're getting resources this turn. That could be a way. You could also go to like the competitive version where it's like you invite all these like gamers into this house, and the grand prize is like $10,000, and you have to survive 4 games of Catan or something like that. And they're like, whoever loses gets kicked out of the house, and you gotta keep playing until there's only like one winner. Or, I mean, I don't know how you would do it if there's like only, because I don't think you could play Catan with just 2 players.
Not well.
Yeah.
I think there's a variant.
Yeah, we could figure out the logistics later. But yeah, something like that. Something like that where it's like a competition, but like people get kicked out the more you're losing, stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many variants of Catan. They have not a Lord of the Rings, a Game of Thrones Catan. They have the Spacefarers, they have the Seafarers, they have the Dragons and Knights, and like there's so many different variants that they could just sprinkle into these and come up with their spin-off shows. Yep. You could do like the spacefaring one and basically be Dune. Like you have the international shippers that are controlling the galaxy, and they have to be taken down from within. And like there's 1,000 different things that they could pull from. I'm curious to see what they do. But if you have listened to this podcast and you are listening to our pitches, and one of these jumps out to you, tell us which one you think needs to be made, or tell us your idea. Comment on the YouTube, chime in on the Instagram. Tell us what you think Netflix should do with the Settlers of Catan IP, because we're going to make these pitches to Mr. Nathan Netflix in his Stranger Things t-shirt. They're looking for a big project. Maybe these are 2-hour-long episodes, just like Stranger Things. Why not? Why build up to it? Just go straight for the 2-hour episodes. So
yeah, for real.
Let us know what you think. Vic, thank you for coming on.
Oh man,
go ahead and tell our audience where people can find Games Y Más on the internet.
Yeah, of course. Thank you again so much, guys. It's always such an honor and joy to come on the podcast, talk with you guys about board games or just whatever you guys want to chat with. I mean, you guys are awesome, great. We have Games Y Más, the podcast where we're talking again board games, pop culture, video games. We love to talk it all, just like how Operation Game Night do it here. They actually do a little bit better than us, but it's cool. You know what? We like to join, and you guys are amazing. You guys are awesome. But yeah, you can find us. We're on all socials, just like how Operation Game Night is. We are on all socials: Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or Amazon Music. You can find us at Games Y Más Pod. That is at Games Y Más Pod. You can give us a like, follow there, wherever. And also be sure to follow these guys. If you guys aren't following already, give them a follow. They're awesome. They're great. They're one of my good buddies. I love chatting with them. Anything, they're great. And you know, Clay made me sad when he mentioned, you know, World Series of Gaming, but it's okay. We'll bring it back.
We're gonna get something together, man. We're gonna get it together.
We will, and we're gonna document all of that, by the way.
Yeah,
when we do.
When we get that Netflix money.
Exactly. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Mr. Nathan. So whenever you're listening to, I'll polish your Monaco and put it on you and give you a good flavor. But yeah, you guys can find us there. But yeah, thank you again so much for having me on the pod. I really enjoyed it. It's fun. It's great. And yeah, I don't know what I was going to say. Give you more praise.
Thank you for coming on. Thank you for your pitches to Netflix. Thank you for listening to the Operation Game Night podcast. Comment and let us know what you think Netflix should do with the Catan license. For Operation Game Night, I have been Travis. He has been Clay. He has been the one and only Vic from the Games Y Más podcast. This has been Operation Game Night, and we are out.